What is up, everyone? It's your girl, Avery Woodley. All right, so this is an audio. Hang tight and listen. I am actually in my car between appointments, and I was like, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest instead of waiting to sit down and do a live stream or make a video about it. And I have had multiple people today as well ask me about Jada Pinkett Smith. Since the other video was, came out showing how she reacted or did not react towards her husband Will and the whole situation. And I'm like, you know what? Right now, I have to say what I have to say. I have really tried not to say anything at all. I have made a few posts because being the type of woman that I am and the platform that I have and the voice and where I speak from, I wanted to make sure that I was not coming off insensitive and that also I wasn't coming off as a bully, because I am not rushing to the aid of Jada Pinkett Smith. And I am not taking the stance that a lot of women are taking. What I will say is this: I do not condone making fun of people based on their looks, hair, anything like that. That is something serious. I know what the crown means to Black women especially. I know how important our hair is and how bold it is to be able to not wear your hair straight and part it to the side the same way everybody wants you to wear it, right? Our hair is an expression of us, but it's not just a physical thing. It is a part of us. I completely get that. That's something that we have to support and be empathetic towards. Understand that. I also do not condone violence. Now, I do understand it. And I understand why people move a certain way and do things, but I do not condone violence. So, let's just fast forward past this. There is a lot that can be said. There is a lot that we don't know. But what I will say, looking at that moment, it wasn't necessarily about Will getting up and protecting Jada. And that's how Black men are supposed to protect Black women. And it's about time. I also do not believe that, and I do not take that stance when it comes to this. As a Black woman, when I saw that, I wasn't like, yes, Will, thank you for protecting us and sticking up for us. Because we are made fun of, we are talked about, we are put down. Obviously, we are 100%. But that moment transcends beyond that. Okay? That was a domino effect. That was a culmination of events. And I don't think that he's the one that should be on the chopping block, so to speak, when it comes to certain things. Because with him, he has a partner. And that partner, to me, did not show up and protect him the way she's supposed to as his woman and as his wife and as a Black woman. Because let's just be honest. There are two people in a relationship. Yes, men are protectors, but guess what? Women are supposed to protect their men. We are supposed to protect their hearts. We are supposed to be there for them. We are supposed to be their peace and a voice of reason. We are supposed to interfere when we feel like they are coming out of character and that something is going to jeopardize the way that they see themselves as a man and the way they lead and the way they walk and the way they talk. My problem is with Jada. And I know a lot of people may not agree with me, but it is. That's why, like I said, I wanted to watch what I said because I didn't want to take away from the fact that somebody had said something that was distasteful, that was harmful, that was hurtful and all of that. I did not want to take away from that. I also did not want to take away from the fact that, yes, somebody was hit. Before that, I do believe Jada is a master manipulator. I have felt that way for some years. Yes, I do think that she does a lot of work with the Red Table Talk and in other spaces. Has she probably brought about healing for people? Yes. Does she give people a space to open up and to feel safe and where she, and they can talk? Yes. Does she create that space for her husband? Right? Because here's the thing. You can guide people, you can lead people, you can help people, whatever. But if there is personal gain in that, which there is, people's intentions are not always pure. They are not always genuine. I feel like she is a snake in the garden. From the moment the joke came out, people laughed, snickered, but then it was kind of like, wait a minute, her body language. That body language, he felt that, he saw that. That body language was her pulling back the trigger of the gun. Will, I believe, was the bullet. The laughs from other people were also fuel to the fire, right? Because he has been emasculated, disrespected, embarrassed, the brunt of jokes, and you can only take so much. I feel all of that added fuel to the fire, but that initial reaction from her pulling back, I feel made him be like, you know what? Not again. Not only am I going to, defend her, but he was defending himself as a man, because it's like, no, I'm going to show you all. You're not going to keep joking about me. You're not going to talk and move and act like I'm not here and like I don't exist. I am a man, and I'm going to prove it, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to get up here and do, and do what I did. His ego was hurt. His feelings were hurt. And there's so much more. They had nothing to do with that joke, right? But let's go back to her. As a woman, as a wife, as, somebody's girlfriend, whatever man you were with, you should have his best interest at heart, just like he has your best interest at heart. And I do believe that she has failed him and in certain areas, and maybe because he loves her, and I get it, and they have a family together, and they built so much together. He can't see it, but I feel like she's a little puppeteer, right? She's just a little puppeteer, and she's doing these things. It's almost like with a grenade. Somebody takes the pin, you throw it, and you walk away. It's that kind of thing. And you sit back, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, right? Or I'm going to talk about my healing. I'm going to talk about my failures. I'm going to be open to a certain extent. And I'm going to hide behind this whole woke spiritual awakening, kumbaya, bringing people together. Still a snake. Still a manipulator. Still toxic. I have been in a situation with a man. And we were out. Some stuff went down. He felt disrespected. Some words were being exchanged. We're sitting at a table together. I'm sitting next to him. The other person is getting loud and being disrespectful. I know he felt disrespected as a man. He starts to get loud. In that moment, I don't tell him to stop. I don't interfere with that, because he needs to get off what he needs to get off. He needs to say what he needs to say. But when I felt like it was getting out of hand, when I felt the other person was getting aggressive, and I knew how he could possibly react, but I also knew how it was going to look, I checked my surroundings. I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, you own a business. Your face is out there. Your brand is out there. You are building. You know what I'm saying? You are building an empire. There are people around. People have cell phones. It was only a few people of color in the place. You're over 6 feet tall, over 230 pounds, and a black man. This could go wrong in so many ways. Somebody could take a video and put it out there. You could get loud, stand up, and somebody could say, oh my gosh, I feel threatened, like how people did in the space at the Oscars. They ain't have nothing to do with you. I don't know why you feel threatened, but I knew that, and I was aware of it, and I was like, no. He has too much at stake, too much to lose for this moment and this nonsense. When I felt the temperature rising, when I felt the levels rising, I leaned into him even more. I hooked my arm around his, and then I had that hand resting on his leg. And then I took my other hand, placed it on his forearm to let him know, I'm here with you. I hear you. I understand. I got your back. But also I was like, hey, babe. Not in a way to emasculate him or to make him feel like I was siding with the other person, but in a way to save him and to interfere with the situation before it got to a point that it shouldn't get to, before it got to a level that it doesn't need to go to. And then it interferes with who he is as a man, who he is as a business, as a builder, and all of these things. And also to protect myself, because I knew where we were at. I knew that his face was, on TV, and he had things running for his business. And I was like, you know what? If anybody's going to have to act a fool up in here, it's going to be me and not him, because he can't afford to do it. But I will, in order to protect him. When you saw him getting ready to stand up As his wife, as his woman, you should have stood up. You should have stood in front of him. Even though he was upset, you should have hugged him. You should have grabbed his hand. You should have placed your arm on his your hand on his chest, on his heart. Whatever you need to do to interject and interfere with that moment and let him know, babe, hey, I'm good. Those are words. We got this. Not right here. Not in this space. Not in this place. Not right now. I am good. She should have soothed him. She should have calmed him. And then in that moment, as a man, if he was still hell-bent on going up there, her doing that would have made the camera crews look, would have made his mentors look and be like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then they could have interfered and interjected. She should have created the space and stood in the gap for him as his woman, as his wife, and she did not. And I don't believe that she does that. I feel like she is a pawn and she is guilty. And there's a lot of stuff that he is feeling that she has been behind, whether it was directly or indirectly. Because as women, we have to protect our men as well. If we want them to be able to show up for us, if we want them to be able to provide and lead and guide, and she knows he's a public figure, he has a lot of people that look up to him. He said it in that moment as well. I have to protect, I have to lead, I have to do this. You should aid him in that. You shouldn't add to his distress. You shouldn't add to his heaviness. Now you have a broken man and somebody who has to put back the pieces. But it's like, does he get that from home? Does he have somebody who wants him to put back the pieces? Or do they like him a little disheveled and erratic and hanging on to their every word? She should have showed up for him. It wasn't about him showing up for her. There has been enough. She should have showed up for him in private and in public. If you have had public embarrassment, then you need to publicly show up for him. You need to publicly protect him. You need to publicly stand in the gap for your man. You need to publicly lean into him. When he came back and she was laughing, that right there, you want to hide behind the fake woke spiritual awakening, healing, bringing people together or whatever, that right there, we see you. I see you. You are a master puppeteer, a master manipulator, and that is what people should have been watching.